Okay. And we're back in business for the Bruderheim Town Council meeting, November 4th. We are looking for someone to please read the acknowledgement.
I can do that, Mr. Mayor, Council. We acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional meeting grounds, gathering place, and traveling route to the Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and Nakota Sioux. We acknowledge all the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuits whose footsteps have marked these lands for centuries.
Thank you for that. We'll call this meeting to questions or changes to the agenda from administration.
Nothing from administration, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, from council, because Councillor Wayne is unable to make the meeting this evening, he's asked if we could defer 8.1 bylaw to the next council meeting. So would look for a motion if we could to have the agenda adopted with amendment of removing 8.1.
I could bring that forward.
Hold it, not 8.1, that's my error. It would be the 8.3, the municipal property tax rebate program. He would like to be present for the vote and the discussion on that one. So that's deferring 8.3 bylaw 16. Councillor Pat.
Yes, I would move that we accept the agenda with the deferring of 8.3 for the next.
Thank you very much.
Does it cause any problems for administration?
No, Mr. Mayor, we're good.
It's a question for.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? Okay, haven't heard none. Any opposed to that motion? Okay, then the agenda is adopted as.
That's right, Mr. Mayor.
And we're on to adopt. Thank you. So we need a motion to adopt the October 21st meeting minutes. Is someone willing to make that motion?
I'll make the motion that we adopt the minutes of October 21, 2020 regular meeting of council.
Thank you for that, Councillor Pat. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Everybody's had a chance to read the minutes. Not opposed, and the motion's carried. So we move on to number 7.1, information requests. So I'll start with Councillor Len. Do you have any information requests, Councillor Len?
None at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Councillor George.
None at this time.
Okay, thank you for that, Councillor George.
Question about the Christmas hamper. How is that unfolding this year? Is it Lamont Food Bank that's collecting? Or?
So, Mr. Mayor, the Lamont Food Bank will be the primary contact for the food bank program. So we still will be collecting in town, and any donations will be directed to Lamont Food Bank, cash donations. And the Bruderheim Fire Department will be, as always, picking up the hampers and delivering.
And it would be a regular drop-off spots for our people to donate?
So, Mr. Mayor, through Councillor Lee, that's correct. Just would caution with COVID, it's a moving target, but we're going to try really hard to use our businesses and other places that are open for business.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Councillor Pat. Any other inquiries?
No, good, thanks.
Okay. Councillor Judy?
Nothing here, thanks.
Deputy Mayor?
Not a lot for me. Just following up again on Remembrance Day. Do we have any solid lockdown plans? That seems to be coming up awfully quick.
Mr. Mayor, through Deputy Mayor Dan, we are going to be emailing out the details tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions, Councillor or Deputy Mayor Dan?
No, that's it for now. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. The only information requests that I have is actually kind of thank you to the town and the Ag Society and the Bruderheim and Lamont Fire Department for the extrication event. That was really well done. Very realistic type of an event, and lots of people came out. Great chance for the fire departments to show their stuff. Thanks to all involved. And I know that I believe it's this coming weekend is the beginning of sale at the Walker School. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, that's correct.
I just was curious on the format of how that is going to unfold. Is there plans available?
So, Mr. Mayor, the Agriculture Society is hosting that event, and they have submitted a plan on how they intend to control the number of people going in and out of the building.
Okay, so there's a plan in place, and folks will find out when they get there.
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, look forward to that event happening for our town. That's great that we still can do that even though we have the dreaded COVID happening. And
Mr. Mayor, just a reminder too, either to bring a food bank donation or $5 for admission into the door.
great, thank you. Okay, moving on to program requests. Doing reverse order, Deputy Mayor Dan, any program requests?
No, nothing for me at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Judy?
Nothing for me at this time, thanks.
Okay. Councillor Pat?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Councillor George, any information requests or program requests, sorry?
No request from you.
I didn't quite hear that.
Nothing to request.
Okay, not at this time. And Councillor Lynn, any program requests?
No request.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to requests for decisions. 8.1 bylaw 14-2020. CEO Pat, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration would like to provide council with information related to imposing late payment penalties on unpaid taxes and taxes and arrears. In previous years, council has passed the tax rate bylaw, which included the provisions of imposing late payment penalties of 18% on July 1st for unpaid taxes and 18% on January 1st tax arrears. Council gave first reading to this bylaw on October 21st, 2020. Strategic plan areas, open and transparent governance, a community that is educated on responsibilities and limitations of council. Other impacts, Municipal Government Act, RSA 2000, Chapter M26, Section 344 to 346. Bylaw 14-2020, a bylaw to impose later payment penalties on unpaid taxes and tax arrears is being presented as an option to previous bylaws that required an 18% penalty on unpaid taxes on July 1st and another 18% on January 4th for tax arrears. In staggering the penalties, it creates incentive for paying taxes and particularly tax arrears quickly. Administration has noticed that in most cases, when taxes are not paid by July 1st, they remain unpaid until January 1st or later, as there is already an 18% penalty applied and no further benefit to pay down the outstanding amount owed. Within this bylaw, the schedule for imposing later payment penalties on unpaid taxes and tax arrears will also help those that are facing financial challenges due to the effects of COVID. This bylaw would not come into effect until January 1st, 2021. The communication plan, the bylaw will be placed on the Town of Bruderheim website, sent out with tax notices and shared with residents of unpaid taxes and tax arrears. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for that. thank you. Looking for a motion for the second read to bylaw 14-2020.
I can make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Dree,
The town council gives second reading to bylaw 14-2020, a bylaw to impose late payment penalties on unpaid taxes and tax errors.
tax arrears. Okay, perfect. Any discussion, comments, questions on that motion? Just wanted to follow up on one question. I think it got asked before, but I was a little bit unclear on exactly how that works. So I just figured I'd wait until now to ask it. So what I'm curious about is with the staggering, when the first penalty is imposed, is that tax amount of the penalty topped up again on top of the next staggered if they don't pay on that date? Do you understand what I'm trying to say, CL Pat?
Yes,
So,
Mr.
like,
Mayor. So the question,
yeah.
I'm just repeating it for the people here that couldn't hear. It was a little bit broken up. So the question is, do we put penalties on top of penalties? And the answer is no.
Okay. So that 9% doesn't get lumped on top of at the next. That was what the question was. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure that was clear. Okay. Thank you. Any other comments, questions, or concerns with the motion for the second reading? Okay. Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Any opposed to that second reading motion? None opposed, and the motion's carried. So then we move on to the third reading of the same bylaw, looking for someone from council to be willing to move forward that motion. Councillor Pat?
I move that town council give third reading to bylaw 14-2020, a bylaw to impose late payment penalties on unpaid taxes and tax arrears.
Great, thank you for that, Councillor Pat.
Pat?
Any comments?
Ooh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, not everybody can hear what's being said.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, we'll try that. George was a little bit close to me.
Okay, thank you. So we have the motion from Councillor Pat for the third reading of the bylaw. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? I just wanted to thank administration for bringing this forward, and I'm hoping that this will help our residents out going forward in the future with those that may be struggling at times to pay their taxes on time. So we'll call for a vote. Any opposed to the third reading of this bylaw 14-2020? And having heard none, then the motion is carried, and we move on to 8.2, bylaw to repeal bylaw 02-2018.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The purpose of this report is to proceed with Council October 21st, 2020 Council Meeting Resolution 282-2020. That Council give first reading to bylaw 15-2020, a bylaw repeal bylaw 02-2018, a bylaw to establish a Bruderheim Rec and Culture Board. In 2012, Bruderheim Town Council approved bylaw 04-2012, a bylaw to establish the Bruderheim Recreation and Culture Board. On April 25th, 2018, Town Council passed a resolution to approve the reading of bylaw 02-2018, a bylaw that set out board composition and voting member criteria. This bylaw repealed bylaw 04-2012. At the October 21st, 2020 meeting of Bruderheim Town Council, resolution 282-2020 was passed in council, in which there was a request to repeal bylaw 02-2018. The repeal of this bylaw is due to the impact of COVID on hosting events, fundraising, and other initiatives, and the retirement of the majority of the board members with the onset of COVID. Strategic plan areas, community is educated on responsibilities and limitation of council and administration. Other impacts, Municipal Government Act. Summary, the Bruderheim Recreation Board was integral in providing recreation and cultural events in Bruderheim. In recent years, the number of volunteers has subsided, and with the offset of COVID, The needs of the community have changed and communities are not able to host events as they have in the past. When COVID restrictions are lifted and the events can resume as they were in the past, Bruderheim Town Council and Administration will review the role that the Recreation and Culture Board provided and options going forward. Information will be shared with the Bruderheim Rec and Culture Board members. And that's it, Mr. Mayor. Thanks.
Thank you for that. So we're looking for a motion from council to move forward on bylaw 02/2018.
I can make that motion.
Thank you.
I move that Town Council give first reading to bylaw 15-2020, a bylaw to repeal bylaw 02-2018, a bylaw to establish a Bruderheim Recreation and Cultural Board.
Thank you for that. Is there any comments, questions, or concerns with the motion that was put forward?
If I may, I think that everybody was very adamant that this is kind of one of those temporary fixes, and Lord willing, we will look towards having a cultural board and rec board again one day when things loosen up again.
Absolutely. I think you're bang on there, Deputy Mayor. So this is the first reading. The next meeting we'll have the second and third. Is that correct, CAO Pat?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Any comment? Any other comments, questions, or concerns with the motion? Okay, haven't heard none. Call for a vote. Any opposed to that motion? And none opposed, and so that motion is carried. And so we move on to 8.4, council signing authority.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The purpose of this report is to provide council with information to confirm the change in signing authority. The town council give Mayor Carl Hulk and Deputy Mayor Daniel Skousbal signing authority for municipal documents for the town of Bruderheim, effective November 1st, 2020 to October 17th, 2021, and to remove Councillor Judy Schuler as previously listed as having signing authority for municipal documents. At the October 14th, 2020 organizational meeting of council, council appointed Councillor Daniel Skousbal as Deputy Mayor for the period of November 1st, 2020 to October 17th, 2021. Council has in past year has assigned the signing authority for municipal documents to the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor. With the change in council member appointment to Deputy Mayor, council and make a resolution to change the signing authority for municipal documents. Strategic plan areas. A community is educated on responsibilities and limitations of council and administration. Other impacts. Municipal Government Act RSA 2000, Chapter M26 as amended. Signing Section 213.4, signing or authorization of municipal documents. Bylaw 11/2019, regulate the proceedings of council meetings and the transacting of business by council for the municipality. The Municipal Government Act states that the agreements, checks, and other negotiable instruments must be signed or authorized by the chief elected official, by another person authorized by council to sign them, and a designated officer. Administration will ensure the change in signing authority documents are completed and notify council when the change in signing authority is completed with the Alberta Treasury Branch.
Thank you for that, CAO Pat. Just looking for a motion for the council signing authority. Would someone be willing to bring that forward?
I can bring it forward.
Thank you, Councillor Pat.
I move the town council give Mayor Carl Hawk and Deputy Mayor Daniel Skousbal signing authority for municipal documents for the town of Bruderheim, effective November 1, 2020 to October 17, 2021, and to remove Councillor Judy Schuler as previously listed as having signing authority for municipal documents.
Thank you for that, Councillor Pat. Any comments, questions, or concerns from council with that motion?
A little bit of a random question. I was just curious if it is a possibility. Just because I'm deputy mayor, does the signing authority have to go to me? Would, say, Judy still be able to retain it? Is that a possibility? Again, random question.
Mr. Mayor, through Deputy Mayor, our current policy states that it's the Deputy Mayor.
Okay, perfect.
We will be bringing electronic signature policy to council to discuss. That might be a chance. It will be easier for you then when your electronic signatures.
Yay. Awesome.
Carl likes that idea. Awesome.
And
Thank you.
Thank you for that question, because it tweaks me for another question. So in the policy, if the mayor and deputy mayor are unavailable, what does the policy state then?
Mr. Mayor, then Sherry and myself could sign.
Okay, yeah, just
What
wanted to make sure.
about Wayne's position, the mayor-elect? Is that?
Hey, Mayor?
Acting.
Acting mayor.
Yeah.
Act-
Mr. Mayor, no, the acting mayor does not have signing authority in our current policy.
Mhm. But that's something that we could maybe think about if we wanted to, right?
Well, Mr. Mayor, I think if we introduce the electronic signature policy, that will alleviate any issues of an elected official being physically have to be in the office to sign.
That's great. Thank you very much. And thank you for Deputy Mayor Daniel Scooswall stepping up and filling that role. Thank you for that. So if there's no comments or questions or concerns anymore with this motion, call for a vote then. Anyone opposed to this motion? No, you can't be opposed then. Okay, motion. So 8.5, Public Code of Conduct Policy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is quite a lengthy policy that administration is introducing. So to provide council with recommendations to adopt a code of conduct for the public when accessing municipal services, events, and facilities. The attached policy clearly defines a code of conduct for community members accessing town services and outlines procedures for dealing with inappropriate behavior arising from the use of town services. This policy includes examples and a process in place for the staff in dealing with incidents from minor to major cases requiring a trespass order. Only the Chief Administrative Officer can issue a trespass order. This policy also covers incidents in writing over the phone and at special events. Recommendation that Town Council adopt the draft Public Code of Conduct policy. Over the years, various situations have arisen where a member of the public has become either belligerent, threatening, or otherwise inappropriate, causing a concern for the health and safety of staff and/or general public. In some extreme cases, trespass orders are required to prohibit the presence of a member of the public from attending an otherwise public facility or outdoor space. The town has a discrimination, harassment, respectful workplace policy and a public facility code of conduct that governs some of its behavior, but there was a lack of policy to more clearly communicate the terms and conditions for when action is needed to address problematic behavior by the public. Also, we don't have guidelines that cover what could be characterized as human rights concerns, where a member of the public could be subjecting staff or other members of the public to discriminatory language or behavior. Strategic plan priority areas, ensuring that safety of public and staff when using town facilities or attending town events, ensuring that the principles and values of human rights are supported for the public and staff using town facilities or attending town events, to ensure that the public and staff are educated in the expectations when using town facilities or attending town events. Other impacts, policy government 073, Public Facility Code of Conduct, legislative and legal, Trespass to Premises Act, RSA 2000, CT7, Occupational Safety Act, RSA 2017, Chapter 0 to 2.1. Is recommended to adopt a public code of conduct to ensure that members of the public and staff are free from harassment and discrimination while accessing municipal services, and to clearly communicate the steps to take if and when breaches occur. The policy would be shared with the public through social media, our website, and printed materials. It will be shared with staff through department training. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for that. Looking for a motion from council to bring this Public Code of Conduct policy forward.
I can bring it forth, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Judy, thank you.
The town council approved the public code of conduct policy and rescind the public facility code of conduct policy, GOV 073.
Thank you for that. Any comments, questions, or concerns with this policy from our council? Deputy Mayor Dan.
I noticed this isn't a bylaw. Does this still need 3 readings?
Mr. Mayor, through Deputy Mayor, no. It just needs a council resolution to pass.
Sorry. Oh, perfect. Because I was going to say if it needs 3 readings, why don't we just get it done? Because that's important. Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that question. Any other comments, questions, or concerns from council with this policy? I do have one question, CIO Pat. I just wanted to make sure that we're protecting our staff, and the portion under page 5, authority to enforce, how would this be enforced? Do we call the police, or like who would be called upon to actually enforce this policy?
So, Mr. Mayor, on page 5, also authority to enforce. This policy may be enforced by any staff member while on duty, except the power to expel a member of the public or prohibit a member of the public from returning. This is authority to expel a member of the public may only be exercised by the director with the authority over that town property or event. And then it goes on to say the chief administrative officer can only issue a trespass notice.
Right, but worrying about the health and well-being of our staff, like it goes on further to say under page 9, number 1, trespass notice, when there's a threat of violence and a peace officer or police officer shall issue. So expelling someone who may not be acting appropriate or exhibiting poor behavior or for whatever reason, it is going to be tough on our staff to have to expel that person. And I'm just wondering, like, how do we not be putting our staff into a position of danger with this? That's what I'm curious about.
Mr. Mayor, we already do ask people to leave an event or a facility if, as you know, all our facilities have signs that we have the tolerance for how we expect people to behave. Again, in that statement on trespass notice on page 9, it says, or inappropriate behaviors prolonged or repeated. So we like to work on education, but if that doesn't work, then we have in the past called the police at the arena, for example, in an evening or weekend. We don't ask our staff. There's words in the, I think it's in the appendix part here. It talks about appendix B, how to de-escalate and when to step away. And that's why I said it's about the staff training as well, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that our staff is protected. If they're called upon to expel someone, that's pretty harsh. So,
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Campbell has a comment.
oh, sorry, Councillor George, I can't see him.
This machine doesn't work so good. Anyway, in my training as security, if you come in contact with a disruptive person, all you can do is stand back, maintain your distance, report, and wait till authorities take over. You're just the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You can take that. So for the person leave.
If he doesn't leave, you do not go and use force.
Yeah.
Because then you put yourself in danger and
For charge of using excessive force. So it's best to just stand back, report, and report.
Thank you for that, Councillor George. Any other comments, questions, or concerns with this motion? Okay, call for a vote then. Anyone opposed to this motion for the Public Code of Conduct policy? Hearing none opposed, the motion is carried. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks, administration, for bringing this forward. 8.6, 2021 EIHA conference sponsorship.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration would like to provide council with information related to the 2021 Alberta Industrial Heartland Conference sponsorship opportunity. The Town Council directs administration to confirm a bronze partner sponsorship in the amount of $3,000 for the 2021 Alberta Industrial Heartland Association conference to be held in September 2021 with the funding from the Economic Development Membership Budget 262-210. In previous years, Council has been a sponsor for the Alberta Industrial Heartland Conference, and this sponsorship has been included in this year's Economic Development Budget. With the Bronze Partnership sponsorship, Council received 1 complimentary VIP ticket, 1 complimentary ticket to the VIP sponsor reception on September 8, 2021, and the Town of Bruderheim logo on the event sponsorship banners and in sponsorship loop video. Strategic plan areas: the community is educated on responsibilities and limitations of council and administration. Summary: Bruderheim is a member of the Alberta Industrial Heartland and benefits from attending this conference annually. Council networks with industry and government officials during this event. Administration will contact Alberta Industrial Heartland staff to advise if Bruderheim will or will not be participating as a sponsor for 2021.
Okay, thank you for that. Looking for someone on council to move forward a motion in regards to the sponsorship.
I can bring that forward.
Beat me to it.
Old.
Great.
The town council directs administration to confirm a bronze partner sponsorship in the amount of $3,000 for the 2021 Alberta's Industrial Heartland Association Conference to be held in September 2021 with the funding from Economic Development Memberships Budget 2-62-210.
Thank you for that motion, Councillor Pat. Any comments, questions, or concerns from our council with that motion? Councillor Len?
He can hear you, Councillor Lynn.
Well, I think this is 50 years of COVID, we can't afford it. Other more important than this. Glad to make us better. I would go there only if the Heartland would pay us about $5 million in revenue in our community in the last 30 years to cover it done to us. Wasted, just a waste of money, waste of time. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Len. Any other comments, questions, or concerns from council in regards to this motion? Okay, call for a vote then. Any opposed to this motion?
I am.
Okay, and the motion is carried with one opposed. Thank you. And so that's 8.6. We're on to council committee reports. And we're looking for a motion to receive the council committee reports as information. Who would like to move that motion forward?
I could do this one.
Thank you, Daniel.
I move that council receive the council committee reports as information.
Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion from council? Okay, call for a vote then. Anyone opposed to that motion? And none opposed, and the motion is carried. So we move on to the mayor report.
I can do that too.
Thank you, Councillor Daniel, or Deputy Mayor Daniel.
No worries. I move that council receive the mayor report as information.
Thank you. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? Any questions or concerns with that motion? I'm sorry, somebody was saying something?
That's just your echo.
Oh, okay. So call for a vote on that. Hearing none, then the motion is carried. 9.3 CAO report received as information. We need a motion for that one.
Sure thing. I move that council receive the chief administrative officer report as information.
Thank you. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion from our council? Anyone have any questions for CEO Pat in regards to this? Just a comment, always very busy with things going on with the town, even though this COVID is happening this year. The report never seems to shorten up, Pat. Great job that administration is. So call for a vote. Anyone opposed to that motion? Hearing none, that motion is carried. Correspondence. I don't believe there's any correspondence other than I forwarded an email from Mayor Stuart Houston from Spruce Grove in regards to the growth of housing builds in 2020 from January to September. You know, it was interesting to note which municipalities were still growing this year. And that was the only correspondence I had. And so I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll do it. I'll take his place.
Awesome.
I move that we join the meeting, council meeting tonight.
Thank you. Are we still on the air?